Hi, my name is Jessica Martinez, and today we're going to talk about alternative literature searching for live animal research. Thank you for watching this recorded workshop. For more University of Idaho library workshops, visit the workshop calendar or workshop resources list found on the library website. Before we dive in, let me introduce myself. First, I am the liaison librarian to the College of Science. Every college has a liaison librarian who is happy to help you find literature or other resources on any topic. Second, I'm currently serving as the non-scientist on the University of Idaho's Institutional Animal Care and Use Committee, or IACUC. This has given me a deep appreciation for a good alternative literature search for live animal research and has also let me see firsthand the wide variety of amazing research that is happening here at UI. I'm excited to share some tips and best practices with you today that will make your literature searches more efficient and effective as you begin your live animal research. Before we go further, here's the link to a library research guide I created with links to all the resources mentioned today. It is a great resource to return to as you craft your literature search. It is libguides.uidaho.edu/alternative searching. So what is an alternative literature search? According to the Animal Welfare Information Center, AWIC, it is documentation demonstrating that alternatives to procedures that may cause more than momentary pain or distress to the animals have been considered, and that activities do not unnecessarily duplicate previous experiments. A thorough literature search regarding alternatives using relevant sources helps to meet this federal mandate. Here's the website for the Animal Welfare Information Center, part of USDA. It is a treasure trove of resources for alternative literature searching. Most of the resources and strategies I'm going over today come from a workshop I attended hosted by AWIC a few years ago. That workshop was 6 hours long, but I'm going to try and give you the highlights in the next 15 minutes. If you want to dive deeper though, there's the website. So what is this federal mandate that quote mentioned? The law that requires an alternative literature search is the Animal Welfare Act, passed in 1966 and amended many times since then. This law established IACUCs as well as the information requirements needed to perform live animal research. These requirements are a rationale for using animals, appropriateness of the animal species, appropriateness of the number of animals, complete description of research procedures, description of euthanasia method, and consideration of alternatives to painful or distressful procedures. So to meet that mandate, it's important to consider the 3 R's when coming up with your research. The 3 R's aim for the reduction in the number of animals used, the refinement of procedures or techniques to minimize stress and pain, and the replacement of animals with non-human or non-animal techniques. So this is all that why we're doing an alternative literature search and what we're keeping in mind while we're doing it. So let's get started crafting your alternative literature search. First, search for alternatives during the planning phases of your project. A literature search is meant to inform your research, not justify it after the fact. Next, identify 2 or more databases to search in. Then craft a strong search strategy. Perform your search. Then write up your search narrative for your protocol, paper, or grant. Now we're going to go through these steps one by one. First, identifying databases. It is a good idea to choose at least 2 databases to search in, if not more. The reason for this is that a more narrow, subject-specific database may not have everything, all the articles you need indexed, while a large general database may have too many articles to weed through. The UI library has access to several biomedical and biological databases, as well as general databases. I recommend picking one of each to do your search in and perhaps searching in a few different subject-specific databases. This is an area where speaking with your librarian could be very helpful since we can identify which databases cover the journals and disciplines that are most useful to you. Also, side note, if you're using Google Scholar, make sure that you've linked your Google account to the UI library in settings under library links. That will allow you to see which articles you have access to through the UI library while using Google Scholar. after choosing your databases, it's time to craft your research question. You're going to want to include scientific terms, including species of animal, systems and anatomy, drugs and compounds used, methods and procedures, especially painful and distressing ones. Then include your 3 R's terminology, which we're going to go into more depth in the next slides. And then put all of this together using Boolean operators, your limits, your truncations, the years you're searching, and the types of materials in your search string. So here are some examples of some of those 3 R's alternative terminology that address refinement and reduction. You'll see that there are a lot of ways to approach finding alternatives in literature. So you take a moment to just take a look at all of these different words you can use to find alternatives to painful or distressing situations. And then we also have terminology for replacement alternatives. Again, there are so many more words we can use than alternative in these searches. When you think about it, most researchers aren't going to put the word alternative in the title or abstract of their research paper, while they may include words like environmental enrichment, euthanasia, or non-animal model. You want to really think through what studies might exist out there and address different ways of asking the same scientific question. For even more word ideas, you can check out the AWIC Animal Use Alternative Thesaurus. This is linked to on that library research guide I mentioned earlier. And you can just, if you like some synonyms, this is a great thing to check out. So now this is an example of what a strong alternative literature search looks like. We have set 1, in quotes, inflammatory bowel disease, or IBD, or colitis. Set 2, murine, or mouse, or mice, or rats, or rat. Set 3, animal welfare in quotes, or well-being, or humane, or endpoints with an asterisk for truncation, non-invasive with an asterisk for truncation, or imaging, or biomarker with an asterisk for truncation, or alternative. You'll see in each of these that they're using Boolean. You can find more information about that online or in the help documentation of a database. You can see that this search includes scientific terms, animal species names, and several alternative search terms. By searching each set individually and then all together, you cast both a very wide net as well as a specific one. This helps to find all the relevant literature on your topic. Now that you've done your searching, you need to write up your search narrative. You have either found helpful articles that will set your research in a slightly different direction and need to recraft your project, or you found no articles that suggest a different route is feasible for your project, and your methods of live animal research are the only way to answer your research question. For your search narrative, include the names of databases searched, the date the search was performed, the time period covered by the search, at least the past 10 years, and the search strategy, like what I showed you in the slide previous. That's it. If you need help at any point in this process, please contact the library. You can email general reference at libref@uidaho.edu, chat with a librarian 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or set up an appointment with your liaison librarian. All of these methods of help are available on the library website at lib.uidaho.edu/help. You can also visit the AWIC website or attend one of their workshops or webinars on this topic, and their website is there as well. Thank you for watching this webinar. I wish you the best of luck in all your research.